Just started recording, and of course the air conditioner turns back on. That was random. I kind of forgot they were coming by. Yeah, my buddy Dave, the white guy, calls me like an hour ago, like, hey man, what are you saying? I'm like, well, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm doing what most people are doing at 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to get some sleep, but luckily I was about to make a video and about to come back out here, so I said, come on by, you're more than welcome. And they did. Usually I would say no, but this is a new leaf we're turning here. So I just finished talking about the Raven trick. Is you can get it at any magic shop. It's a very popular trick. And now moving on to the cigarette through quarter. So let me get another cigarette out, because that one was smoked when they got here. And so David, like I was saying, he uses the spectator cigarette, which is wise, and he also uses a lit cigarette, so he can do a little patter, like he says, pretend this is lit. Say, look, if you hold the cigarette next to the quarter, it'll kind of heat up the metal, and you can kind of change the consistency of the metal. And then he flips it around so he has the filter end, and puts it right through the quarter, just like so. And then once if you want to melt it back out, you just do that. You can watch it happen. Watch it happen. That melts right back. So this is the American quarter version, which I bought it because the gimmick couldn't be cooler. It is the coolest little gizmo. They didn't have the Canadian quarter version, but I do have a Canadian quarter version that I'm going to be showing you. Also, I have a couple toonies that I've homemade to do the exact same effect. And so this, I'll go into the gimmick with you right now, and I want to also explain that, I might have mentioned this, but this is another thing I don't really feel too bad about, because you have to go out and buy it. And like I was saying, there are tricks to every magic trick. No one's born a magician. No one's born with, sorcery in their blood or anything like that. Man, the wind is picking up. It has been like a crazy electrical storm all night here. You get that like real thick blue lightning, which I like a lot, as opposed to the really rainy stuff. So at the moment those guys showed up actually, I would have had to stop the video anyhow because it started raining for a little bit, but looks like it's kind of stopped now. But the wind is picking up, so I don't really know what's going to happen. So yeah, this isn't, when I watched it at first I was young and I thought that he could literally melt a quarter and put the cigarette through it. This is how my process worked, but oh shit, 1 second. Super windy today. All my stuff is flowing everywhere. So like I said, there's a trick to everything, and don't get mad at me for revealing this, because it's obvious that he's using a trick quarter, and if you don't know that, now you know. And now this is the coolest little gizmo because of one thing. The face looks great. The back, however, you can't expose the back. You have to have the quarter facing them at all times, the face of the quarter. The back, where the head is supposed to be, this is tails, this is heads, it has a rather complicated mousetrap type gimmick here. And it is the coolest little thing. So once the filter of the cigarette gets pushed into the center, this little gizmo here will pop right out, and it's on like a spring action. So once it pops out a bit, with your finger you want to open it all the way. You don't have to, but like, I prefer to make the cigarette penetration really smooth. So this folds right out, and it actually has a bit of the quarter. The part that's actually chopped out of the center of the quarter is glued or welded back onto there somehow, or maybe just some solder, and that is on a spring action, so it snaps back into place, and the quarter looks brand new. There's nothing more I can say about this one. When you are taking the cigarette back out of it, you have to be cautious, because this little flap here creates pressure on the end of the cigarette, So if it's about halfway through here, and you know that the filter paper is a bit stronger than the paper here, so if I start pulling right now, it might, because this is sharp, it's pretty sharp here, this little flap, it might dig a hole in the cigarette and then, you know, causing it to be unsmokable at the time. So what I'll do is I'll bring my finger over here and open it up and then let the cigarette, pull the cigarette out. It makes it smoother and it makes it so I have all the control. So it's kind of an angly thing, and I don't think I can show you too much here because of the darkness and all the stuff, but I'll try and get a nice close-up on that now. You can see it. And then you don't want to have that snapping noise happen, because it kind of has a little bit of an audible click. If you pull it out too fast, you'll hear this. And if you're on the street or something like that, it's highly unlikely anyone's going to hear it. But you never want to get caught. You never want to get caught. You want to push the envelope. You want to push the envelope, but don't push it too far. You never want to get caught. Getting caught really stinks. Really stinks. And if you perform magic with your friends or your family, or even doing it for gigs, I'm sure you've come across one or two times where you screwed it up and you feel like a total jackass. So now we'll go into the Canadian quarter version that I purchased from another magic shop, but now that I have bought the gimmick, I can very easily make this at home. And this quarter has a hole permanently drilled into it, the exact same diameter as a cigarette. So it can easily slide in there, and you can even pull it all the way through, but you're left with a quarter with a hole in it. Very easy way around this. Bobo's Coin Magic, the book that he wrote. That's one of the first books I ever read on magic. Actually, it's when I first started getting into magic. I bought that book, and I bought the Invisible Deck and the Mental Deck, Mental Photography Deck, and both great effects, both great decks to buy, and just get them. They're only $5 or $10 each, and they are hours of fun. And the Invisible Deck I still use probably every single time I do a gig, because it's one of the stronger card effects that you can get. And doing a deck switch isn't that hard. If you have a deck you've been playing with, put the deck away, get a cigarette, do a cigarette trick, do a coin trick, something like that, get the other deck back out, the trick gimmick deck, and explain to them that you've seen this deck the whole time, it's shuffled, and yada yada yada. For the Mental Photography Deck, it's a bit different. You know, you have to create sort of a presence, not so much a reason to bring the deck out, but a reason why the deck looks the way it does. So you're going to have to build a little suspense around that. Still a great effect. But with this one, like I said, Bobo's Coin Magic will help you borrow a quarter off a spectator, a normal quarter. I'm going to put this filthy quarter in my mouth for a second. You borrow a normal quarter out of there, and you have this in finger palm. And if you don't know what finger palm is, it's basically a coin resting on the first section of your ring finger. I use my ring finger for the most part, and curling it in just like that. And then some sort of subtlety, I forget the name of the magician, but a subtlety is to hold something in this hand. Oh, to use this, one subtlety is just to hold your hand casually and loosely, and you have the coin finger palmed right there. Another great subtlety is to hold something in your hand, because the quarter is there, but having something held, it makes it look a little more natural, that my hand's a bit cramped like it is here. So I have the quarter with the hole in it in finger palm, and I'll borrow someone else's quarter. So say it's finger palmed in the left hand, which it is here in this case. I'll take a quarter from someone else, and I'll kind of bounce the quarter in my hand until it hits that that first section of my ring. I'm not going to use my ring finger because I have a large ring on there and it'll make a noise, but I'll do it with my middle finger. So kind of bounce the quarter around until it kind of hits that area right there, and then you want to do a switch, right? So this one, you're going to finger palm it real quick just by turning your hand over, and then you're going to reveal the coin in this hand. So it's going to be like that. Well, you're not going to do it you're just going to let them see the shine of the quarter. You're not going to sit there and say, look, a quarter with a hole in it. No, you're just going to do it real quick and then grab the quarter like this, right in the middle of it, so they can't see that there's a hole straight through it. So you grab it like that, bring it to your fingertips. This can be left in finger palm, and then you're going to be using a cigarette for this trick. So it's like the wand principle, the magic wand principle. When you have something palmed, you're going to use a magic wand and tap, right? Same sort of principle, but this time it's a lit cigarette, and you can hold it pretty casually because you've got that subtlety happening with the finger palm in there. So then you want to hold it, you can do the whole consistency of the metal thing. You want to hold it so they can't see the hole. Just make sure they can't see the flipping hole. That's as far as it goes. Until you put the cigarette right through the hole. And then you can even take a few drags of the smoke. You can have a spectator hold out their hand. If it's not a lit cigarette, you can have a spectator hold out their hand, or you can, if it is a lit cigarette, put the quarter a little more generously to the lit end, and then it'll balance like this, and there's no chance that the cherry, the hot part, I call it cherry, is going to come down and hit the spectator's hand. Only leave it in their hand momentarily, pick it back up, and then have it melt all the way through. What I like to do, because the quarter has a hole in it, is I will grab the cigarette like this, and I will pull the cigarette out, just like that. As I'm pulling it out, I'm kind of releasing it from finger palm here. So in fast motion, it's going to be, and I'm going to have them hold out their hands, and once I take the quarter off the cigarette, I'll drop the one that's in finger palm into their hand. Right? So it's one quick motion. They have their quarter back in their palm. They put it back in their pocket. This is now put into a finger palm or a thumb palm retention. This is put into whatever you want. Get rid of it. And that's as far as it goes. That's the Canadian quarter version. And I hope this has helped. So that's tricks 6 and 7 from the David Blaine thing. There's going to be plenty more to come. The reason I'm putting this up, I'm kind of putting this up, this video up now in kind of a panic mode here, because a lot of people are unsubscribing since I've been putting up vlog videos. Because they subscribed a long time ago, they've forgotten my name, they've forgotten my style, and then the style of the channel, and then I don't put up a video for 3 or 4 months, so they haven't seen my face in a while, they forget all about my channel, and then I come back with these videos that are vlogs, and I don't blame them but I don't want to lose anyone, because that's, I made a video thanking you guys for your subscriptions, and I really don't want to lose that, because it is a milestone in my YouTube life. So I'll leave it at that for now. Peace out. Sorry, also I wanted to mention the toonies. I had made these at home, and I gotta give credit to my friend, magician friend Chris Westfall, who came up with a great routine that uses a zigzag, and he wraps a toonie in it, and he wraps the spectator's toonie in it, and then he sticks the cigarette right through the toonie within the zigzag, but it's not really a zigzag. It's a good effect. He actually uses flash paper. It's not up to me to reveal that. Maybe I've said too much, but who cares? So what I've done here is I've found a drill bit, titanium drill bit, or maybe not titanium, whatever, any sort of hardened steel drill bit, and found the exact same diameter of a cigarette to get the same size drill bit, and drill a hole in the brass part of the toonie. If you don't live in America, you can probably do this with any coin you want. Well, I guess the biggest coin you have is a quarter out there. Yeah, you have $1 bills. Okay. Yeah. Do that. I've done that with a few toonies, just in case I lose one or what have you. Only costs $2 a trick. So, just thought I'd mention that before I go. So, peace for real this time.